Yes. All right. So, what's up, wrestling fans? It's OK Fabe, Joe Cronin, and JD from NY206. JD from New York, and we're just hanging out.
JD knew I was coming on, so that's why he just walked away.
Oh, all right. We'll talk to JD's. The remnants of his fart on his seat. Look, I can see the dust still spewing about.
We can see it still just floating there.
If we're quiet, his camera will come on, and we'll hear the sound of like the gas settling in the room. Let's listen. Ready?
It's diffusing.
I thought I heard something. That was it. He pooped. Nah.
Oh man. There's the man.
There he is. All right. But yes, we were just hanging out. We're having a good time. Lucha Underground tonight. WWE NXT tonight. I didn't watch any of it yet.
Are we live?
No, we're taping, but we're taping, but we're here.
Live-ish.
Fuck me then.
Yeah. Okay. I will. Those don't strike me. So so many jokes.
You down like fucking Thor with his hammer.
That guy's gonna have 9 videos about you by the end of the week.
By the power of Mjolnir, I strike this video.
You've unloaded Pandora's box.
Some other kind of box. Boom.
I'm drinking.
Anyway, I watched Lucha Underground for the first time on El Rey tonight. It was very enjoyable.
Shout out to Chavo Guerrero, who told us how good it was going to be, and I watched season 1, and I've been trying to catch up on season 2, but it's been tough with all the stuff I've been doing. But yeah, how's it going? What episode of 3 are we on here? 3?
Yeah, we're on episode 3. I watched 1, 2, and 3 of season 3. I watched some highlights on YouTube of seasons 1 and 2, but there really is nothing there of substance where I can fully understand everything that's going on. But I mean, I'm enjoying it, dude. It's different and it's fun and it's just a great hour of wrestling. To be honest with you,
dude,
and Dario Cueto is easily becoming my favorite character in all of wrestling right now, even after 3 episodes.
It seriously is like a late night show that you would love to watch, or like a morning show on Saturdays or something. Like, it's very familiar in that way. It's like addictive.
And people have been telling me to watch it. I've been putting it off. I don't know what the fuck I was waiting for.
I think the convenience of watching it has been a big issue. I think it's always like, where do I get it? There it is. Oh, I don't have that channel. You know, oh, this shit's not working. Oh, forget about it. I got 9 other things to do. So it's all about making it convenient to watch. If they could do that a little bit better somehow, and I don't know how that would be, I think they would.
I know you're working with Matt Stryker on Saturday.
Yes,
and I enjoyed his commentary, you know, here and there. But listening to him for a full hour do his thing, dude, he's fucking great.
Yes,
he really is great. But I said on my review tonight, I did a solo review about episode 3 tonight. He's great, but I really don't see him as a lead guy. I always seen him as a color commentator.
It's true. I mean, when he did, and I don't know what we're gonna do on Saturday. It's this Saturday, September 24th in Watertown, Massachusetts. Tickets available now. By the way, I'll plug it right now. ProWrestlingMass.com. It's ProMass on Twitter. Go tweet them. Tell them you're happy I'm there. I'm gonna be doing commentary with Stryker. I don't know how we're gonna do the commentary. What's going to happen. I think it would be nice if I did do the play-by-play, and for the most part, he backed in. He did this with JR, and I would almost say, like, let's treat this like you did with JR. Like, you know, JR knows a lot of moves, but did the play-by-play, but didn't know a lot of backstory. Matt Stryker is a student of this game. He is absolutely a student. He will know the backgrounds of people, the names of almost everything. He is just a bookworm, man, but he's got a commanding voice at the same time. So he was there to basically hold JR's hand, as far as, not that it doesn't sound right to say that together with JR, but he was there to make sure he could fill in the backstory of the New Japan wrestlers. What was it, 2 years ago now, or almost?
There was a Wrestle Kingdom 9, I think it was, right?
Yeah,
Wrestle Kingdom 9.
He did a really good job with that one. Like, that was the first time I'd ever seen like a New Japan show with an American commentary team, and it was just, they made it so smooth that even if you've never watched anything with New Japan, they made it very easy to follow. It was really,
no matter what was on that show. I watched half of that show. I didn't watch the second half of it. I watched the first half. They were the reason why I even made the attempt to bother watching that. Because I knew they were going to be a solid announce team.
Oh yeah, JR sold
one of the best of all time.
Dude, JR sold the thing. I mean, if it wasn't for Double J as well, Jeff Jarrett sold it to me as well. I mean, I got to have a great conversation with Jeff Jarrett a couple times on the phone. He sold it to me on the phone. and I had found out about JR calling it. And that's when I heard JR was calling it, I said, I'm going to watch this. So that was a huge deal. And I've watched come back for more New Japan here or there, and Bullet Club obviously helped with that too. But yeah, dude, it was great because Matt Stryker would come in and fill in the backstories. JR actually did know some of them. He knew, like, JR would do all the play-by-play mostly, and he knew about 1/3 of everybody's background. Matt Stryker knew everything, so he would pour on the facts. JR also knows pretty much a lot of moves, but Matt Stryker again would pour on the whole, like, that was a reverse tiger bomb, whatever, and maybe JR didn't call that, but Matt Stryker would throw it out there. And or Matt Stryker would allude to, like, oh, this is his finisher, get ready, he does this, whatever, and then JR just continues. It wasn't awkward most of the time. Most of the time JR didn't say, well, Matt, tell us about his, because I don't know. He didn't even do that. Like, it was like he just knew. Like, it was like JR would do what he did, and Matt Stryker would just fill in the color. Like, it was beautiful. And that's what I would hope to have from him on Saturday, because I could definitely do most of the action play-by-play, whereas he's really filling in with the smarts because he's a smart guy. And he's certainly smarter than me with knowing the background, the histories, and all the moves. So hopefully that's what will happen. If not, I'll go heel, or he'll go. I don't know what will happen. I heard he fucks around with a lot of the local announcers, though, so this should be interesting.
That should be fun.
Isaac Rojas figured that out, and he pretty much landed me the gig, by the way. So shout out to Isaac Rojas for that.
Yeah, I could have hit up Isaac. I was thinking about hitting up Isaac because you popped into my mind, Joe. New York City and Manhattan, it's a fucking breeding ground for independent wrestling.
Oh yeah,
Queens and Brooklyn. I know Isaac is big into that stuff. I wanna reach out to him and see if he can get me in a door somewhere. I want to start attending more local independent shows and start doing what you're doing, because I enjoy it. It's fun. I've seen you do it, and you have a fucking blast.
You should at least be interviewing the wrestlers. Like, even if you didn't want to do the commentary, you should at least be like there. Like, I'm JD from New York. Here's my, because I mean, we honestly we sell tickets. I mean, there's some wrestlers on the show that will sell 0 tickets. Mm-hmm. There's some wrestlers on the show people don't know who they are. I mean, I've gone to shows and like 10 people are there from around, and they go, "Hey Joe," and, the promotion never notices or whatever, but they come up to me and it's like they wouldn't be there if I wasn't there. I'm selling more tickets than some people sometimes.
Yeah.
So, dude. Your channel is so valuable, like mine is as well. And hopefully, there you go. I mean, that'll be amazing. And New York's a huge market for us. It really is a big market. Like, I did that poll the other day, asking if people would come see us. We're going to sell tickets and everything and go have a hangout. I mean, 300 New Yorkers, you know what I mean, reacted to it, and more than half of them reacted to New York City would be where they'd go. Somewhere in New York City. And so it's just a big market. There wasn't as many. There was like 20% in Boston. There was a bit more people in Florida, all over the place. But it's just that's a big market for us, and you're right there. So it's really good for you. But yeah, no, it was good that I got tips off. A couple other people let me know about it, and the dude running it is awesome. So Friday night, for everybody that wants to know, Friday night in Brockton, Massachusetts, Mike Bennett, the Miracle. I'll be there doing commentary. Mike Bennett will be there. It'll be a big show for Top Rope Promotions. Feel free to come out and see me there and hang out, drink. We'll have some fun. And then the night after, Saturday in Watertown, Mass. I mean, dude, Booker T, DDP, Scott Hall. It's fucking, it's crazy. A Bully Ray, Bubba Ray is going to be there. What's going to happen? It's the first time seeing Bubba Ray since he got in my face at Smackdown. What's going to happen? There's history there.
Pay for that just alone, Jesus.
Who knows? Maybe he'll punch me in the stomach and be like, "We're not on WWE turf now. Fuck you." You never know. Maybe I'll super kick him in his teeth that are all fake anyway because his parents couldn't afford the dentist.
Or maybe his wife will stop the taste out of your mouth.
Yeah, maybe I'll make up with him and we'll just love. Maybe we'll love each other. I don't know. So much big time respect though for him, and Velvet Sky will be there. I mean, it's gonna be. I mean, what a damn show! What a first show for this company.
Yeah, it's a loaded. I was actually checking it out because I got tagged in the photo for it too, and I'm like, wow, this is a pretty stacked talent core.
I almost thought it wasn't real. I was like, is this not real? Like, this can't be real, right? This is a big ass show.
Yeah. So.
And I really thought I was like, this might not be real. But like,
I've seen those before. I've seen fake like promos for indie shows that never happened, or
they sell the tickets. And everybody goes, "Where the hell's the show?"
I used to ride with one indie fed that's no longer around anymore. It was up in Mass, and they like hyped up a show and then like canceled it literally that afternoon.
Wow.
Just like, yeah, it was a lot of. What's that?
Well, at least they canceled it. But I mean, yeah, you got wrestlers driving in and shit.
Well, that's the part. There's a lot of shadiness going on. Wrestlers showed up that didn't know. This is years ago, but it was just like it was not good business. Clearly, that's why they're so existing today.
Yeah, no one would do work with them. I mean, it was like that promotion. What was it, in Texas or where was it? Where the guy fucked everybody, and one man gang drove all the way from his house. He returns to his flooded house.
Yeah.
What the fuck? People coming from everywhere. Like,
it's shit like that that really like kind of bums me out. Like, when I came out to see you guys at the other show, it really like reminded me like how amazing the indie shows like JD was mentioning earlier, how great they really are and how much fun they really are. Like, take away even like the bigger stars that are there, the local talent kicks ass and puts on some great stuff. Not everything's a gem, but obviously it's it's the independents. But go in their appreciation of what you get. But then you hear about these other stories, it's just like these people are like screwing people over and just being, being complete dicks and assholes. And it really kind of like makes you like go like, shake your head at like, this is the same sport and entertainment business that I really love. And then these assholes are being pricks about it.
I don't think it really matters who's there or who's in the ring or what type of event it is. I mean, I think we all collectively love it so much and we want to be in and around the business and have some type of involvement in the business that just being there is fucking great in itself. It doesn't matter what's going on.
It could be Grim, it could be Grimm's backyard. I'm there.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck. As long as there's a ring there and I see people fucking slamming each other in the ring, I don't give a shit who's in there.
Yeah, he could fight the mailman. I'm game. And he has fought the mailman. But yeah, dude, this is wild. I'm excited to do Friday night and Saturday night. I'm gonna be dead Sunday, but whatever.
And then you got the Patriots on Sunday, no?
That's right. You're right.
And Clash of Champions.
Oh my God! No, you're right. That's what it is.
Fucking stacked weekend right now.
I'm gonna have a lot of pain medication for the headaches that I'll have.
Inject Red Bull directly into his eyeballs.
Make sure you go out and buy that Neuro Stress, Joe.
That's right. I got a couple of those here actually. Maybe Bully Ray will knock me in the head, and I won't know what's going on. I'll forget who I am. Oh my God. And then in the October 21st, we get the Hardys coming up where JD and I will be there with Jake DeMarco. And I assume Okayfabe is going to make it there too.
I'll try. My daughter's due date is between the 11th and the 18th. So
you might be at a hospital.
No promises. But hey, if it was up to me, I'd be at every freaking show I possibly could. Because like I said, that last one was amazing.
Delete.
Right, yeah, I just read an article saying that Triple H wants to sign Matt Hardy. Triple H now. It's not Vince McMahon, it's Triple H. But then I read that Matt Hardy has full creative control over his character in TNA.
Of course.
Wow.
So what happens if he goes to WWE? They're going to fucking dumb it down, and he's going to be not half as good as he is now.
Maybe.
Well, there's no reason for him to go to WWE right now. He's got this like blank canvas in TNA more or less to do whatever he wants. I mean,
yeah, but TNA is a huge question mark. We don't know what's going on before Bound for Glory. Are they selling? Is Billy Corgan going to take control? Is he selling to Vince? Is he selling to another buyer? I don't know what's going on. Because they can't fund the tapings. They can't fund the next set of tapings and Bound for Glory unless they sell the company.
Yep.
I
don't know if Joe has any inside information on that. That's all I know.
I just know that Corgan really, really wants this thing, and I gotta believe that TNA, the people that own it, everybody that has a stake in it, you gotta be careful. But I mean, I'm sure that they seemingly want to keep it going because otherwise, it's a no-brainer that you sell it to whoever pays the most.
Yeah, but is Vince going to keep it open, though? That's the thing.
No.
Vince is not going to keep it around.
Way.
He's going to buy the tape library.
Yep.
He's going to use whatever he's got there is for Styles and Joe and Angle, and he's going to sign the top-tier talent that's there, and the rest of the people there are going to have unemployment.
Yeah, he's gonna just absorb like whatever talent he wants into NXT or the main roster, if that, and then it's the tape library. That's the main thing.
I think this if they really are going hard on it, it's going to be because they're going to replenish NXT. That's the main thing behind that, and the tape library, obviously.
I don't think that, and this is just my opinion, I don't think Vince would put in too much effort for that tape library. WCW was a whole different. I had people asking me like, "Oh, is Vince going to buy it? It's just like WCW." I'm like, "No, it's two totally different situations." I don't think they're gonna. I don't think Vince is that like not to discredit TNA, I don't think he's that like that's a main priority for him right now. Hell, he can barely control the brand split, let alone hell, he's injured, isn't he? Vince is out.
No, he was back in the office on Wednesday.
No, he's
Of course he was.
yeah.
He tore his quad.
Wheelchair.
Yep. Well, there's those slew of jokes again.
Saw it back, tie it back up, and I'll be there.
I'm just gonna put a piece of wood on here. That you just put a piece of wood on it and you're back. I'm fine. And he just wobbles.
WCW was like a guy that broke into your house and you're afraid he was going to kill your family, so you killed him and dragged him in your house. Like TNA is like someone who went to break in your house and then you seen him running away and you're like, good, he's gone. You know what I mean? Like that's, I mean that's like how I see it. Like WCW was like, we have to make sure we buy this shit, and we did it, and we're the ones, and we get this tape library.
Right. It's not to discredit what TNA's accomplished, especially recently, but you know, I just personally think that Vince, that's not a major priority. It's kind of one of those things where like, all right, well, we'll give it a shot and go from there. And if not, you know, because you know, you compare the two companies, it's night and day in some regards. You know, again, not to discredit what they have going on, but I really think Billy's going to get it. I hope Billy's going to get it because if what I understand is true with him being in control of the way things are creatively done with the show, I've been enjoying the product much more in the last I think 4 months than I have in the last year and a half. And it's mostly because I see a seismic shift creatively. So if that's what's to come, I'm all for it.
And Cody Rhodes is going to be there tomorrow night, right?
Cannot wait for. Yeah, that's
Matt Hardy tweeted out a picture saying that he finally has been released from McMahon's grasp.
That's funny, man. I just you know, I don't know if I don't know if you know, Billy ends up getting the company, which it seems like he should, you know, with some investors or with whoever else he gets to buy the company with or whatever the case is. I will never talk about TNA going out of business again. Like, I almost will never, I mean, I'll report it if something happens, but I will never speculate on it anymore because all the wrestlers, all the people have said the company, we're actually doing really good and they're going to figure it out, and there's no way this is happening. And so if this happens, then all the wrestlers were right, and they hate when we talk about this stuff because, I don't know, either they don't want to know about it or we're just so clueless on it speculating. But if they do get sold, all the shit that we've been saying for the last 2 years, I mean, then we can say we were right. But, you know, otherwise, you know, what Mike Bennett said, like, the thing is solid, there's no way. You know, none of that shit's happening. Of course, things can change, obviously, and something maybe came up. Maybe Billy Corgan. You know, I mean, I just don't understand how Billy Corgan could compete with a WWE offer. I know they mentioned there was like a 40 million figure. There's no way it's 40 million. I can't even.
No.
It's like, I would think it's like 1, 2, 3, 4 million.
I'd say 10 max, I think was people were quoting it at, which I can.
$10 million for TNA?
Yeah, which.
Dude, Dave Meltzer, I know Joe's going to probably say fuck Dave Meltzer, but Dave Meltzer said someone offered $40 million for TNA, and Dave Meltzer's like, he starts laughing. And he's like, 40 million minus the zero, 4 million. And I'm like, not even 4 million, dude. I think it's like $1 million.
Yeah,
max.
me too. I think Dave Meltzer makes that shit up just to make himself look cool. I honestly believe he's completely full of shit. And he makes.
If anybody's paying dude, they sold WCW for $2 million. Why would they buy TNA for $4 million?
No, yeah, because it's active. I mean, I don't know. The ratings are. What were the ratings?
WCW
what were the ratings of WCW when it folded? There's a good question.
Oh,
that's a good question.
Because TNA cares about ratings. It's not like WWE. WWE's like, eh.
Well, TNA's drawing anywhere between 350 and 400,000 people per week.
And when they do like a real special deletion,
and Matt Hardy's final deletion 1 drew 1 million plus. That's a massive jump.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
So I mean, they can't have final deletions every fucking week.
Just FYI, the Nitros towards the end of WCW were averaging around 2.1 apparently.
Right.
And they're higher than Monday Night Raw is now. Wow.
yeah, that's amazing.
Just thought I'd.
And Monday Night Raw and WWE right now has probably their best roster ever.
If you combined,
still can't break it too.
If you combine WWE Raw and TNA's rating into one,
it still wouldn't be better.
It would be wouldn't be better than WCW's rating as they went out of business.
It's fucking sad.
That's wild. That's crazy.
Right?
Oh, wild and crazy.
Talked about. I know you guys watch the show. Raw is so bad. They're putting everything on the show with no direction. And you watch SmackDown, they have less to work with, and they're making sense of a lot more. And I don't know if that's the case because they have a less roster, but everything it feels like, and my subs have said it in my comment section, it feels like NXT light, and I agree with them.
SmackDown is, well, because they're not they're time sensitive. They're very precious with the amount of time because they know they obviously have that last, hour that they don't have. It's genius because, and that's why, and I completely agree with everything you've been saying the last couple of weeks. Like even on SmackDown's like worst shows in comparison, they're still overall a better curve. Like it's just that much better.
It's just that I feel they're definitely putting on better shows. It's just the underlying factor is they're not doing enough to make me care fully to the point where I want to be invested totally. I feel like I can't get into a Dean Ambrose AJ Styles match that's built on 2 weeks. I can't get into a Ziggler Miz match that I've seen fucking 16 times already.
Right.
It's tough.
I was surprised.
Not to discredit Ziggler and Miz. Ziggler's fucking great at what he does. Miz is doing the best work of his career. It's just I can't care if I've seen it so many times already.
I didn't start caring until the match picked in the middle. I was actually amazed. Yeah. But, dude, let's talk about this. I mentioned it. I really poured it on. If you saw my review, I know you mentioned in yours, but I was really, like, fascinated. I was tweeting Road Dogg, like, when it was happening because I was like, that is some of the best tag team psychology I've seen in a long time. I can't remember.
Oh, yeah. Alpha and Usos?
I can't remember when somebody was like, are you good? I got to tag you in. And then the guy smack his knee and just be like, I can't stand. I can't go. I can't do it. And then Jordan to look at him and be like, all right, I got this. That was so good. And then when Gable got back in the ring, like gingerly stepping over the second rope to get his whole leg over, and then to get chop blocked into oblivion and just flip himself up. I mean, dude, the crowd exploded for that. Like, whoa. Like, I mean, it was... Dude, it was devastating looking. It was so good. It was really, really the best stuff in tag team stuff I've seen in a long time. The Usos were involved in it too. So
I was just kind of surprised.
That's tag team psychology we've seen with a lot of these guys that came up from NXT. Like the Revival does that every time that they have to defend their titles.
Right.
So look at the match I had with Gargano and Ciampa at Brooklyn. The psychology of that match is great. Date back to Roadblock when Enzo and Cass went against the Revival. Fucking awesome. It's like, whoever they promoted from NXT to write the shows knows exactly what to do.
Yeah, it really is like the NXT people floated over to SmackDown. It's very strange.
Didn't some of I heard like maybe an agent or two or a writer or two from NXT went up to one of the brands. I think we found out which brand they went to.
Yeah, they went
Brian
to SmackDown.
Ward, I think his name is, or Brad Ward or something like that. But
I remember that.
Keep him for the love of God. Don't let go of him for the love of God.
Unbelievable. I mean,
but look at the Usos too. Look at how a character change has made them into something good again, and it's something so small. That's all we wanted. I
just wish if they just changed the entrance music a little bit, it would be perfect.
Yeah,
it's the only complaint. But other than that, I mean, the no face paint that coming out with like the all dark with the hoods, I love it.
They should have like some dark music, like Uso.
I'm
Uso.
on top, man. Like they just dragging, like they just took like a Percocet or something.
You're right. And then they'll just be like, ooh, so crazy.
JD, I know I tweeted this out to you, but I'm sure you probably know this. The DLC pack for 2K17.
Yeah, I wanted to make a video on it tonight. I didn't have time because I did a Lucha review, and then I wanted to watch that and NXT tonight.
WWE 2K17 finally got it right, man.
Yeah, I mean Austin Aries. There's who else is in there? They got
it's a
Nakamura. Remember we thought Nakamura wasn't going to be in it.
Gallows and Anderson are DLC.
So it's Gallows and Anderson.
Skip over that.
I'll pull up the list. Hold on. It's a lot like Godfather, Papa Shango.
Yeah.
Austin Aries. Ty Dillinger was my favorite one that I was happy to hear about.
Oh, he's in there.
He's in there. He's a DLC.
Look at that.
But then they released more. The Freebirds are going to be in it.
The Freebirds. I didn't see that.
Yeah,
it's gonna play as the Freebirds.
JD, I'm gonna flip out on some of your fans. Can I flip out on some of your fans?
Yeah, go ahead.
And I feel bad doing this because this actually, I don't want you to be mad at me. I just feel like bringing this up.
Yeah, go ahead.
I made a Nakamura was not going to be in the game video. I made a rant about it, and within 5 minutes, about 5 minutes or so, or something like that, I pulled the video because I realized it was bullshit. So I pulled the video and pulled I retracted that Nakamura would not be in the game. I pulled it. People were like, "Why'd you take it down?" And then they were like, then they were like, "Oh, you must have copied JD, you fucking scumbag, you fucking leecher, you son of a bitch," and everything. And they like flipped out on me. and they were like, JD reported this already, you scumbag, or something. And
yeah, because Joe was on the phone with me 24 hours a day. Dude, what are you doing with a video? This and that.
You would think we
did
would.
You do this video yet?
You would think we would. Actually, we don't. We should do that. We don't actually do that. We really don't.
People act like you're
did
married.
You hear about this
It's
report?
crazy.
Can I talk about this on Off the Script? Can I talk about this on Monetize This? Give me a phone.
Oh yeah,
we have
need
no
JD's
idea.
permission and Joe's. Yeah.
If anything, I mean, I've been a little bit of a dick. I mean, to be honest, recently, but just fucking around, but as a joke. But I've been sort of a dink. JD would never do some of the stuff that I say because he's a loyal motherfucker, is JD. But yeah, so then I took it down. But JD made the video and he like put it up there, and then the fans are yelling at me. So who's right now, motherfuckers? And by the way, I put out a lot of stuff that ends up being wrong because we're going on rumors that appear to be legit. In fact, last year I said Sasha Banks wouldn't be in the game. I left that video up. You know why? Because it was real. But there's been a lot of things that I've reported that were wrong, and there's been a lot of things that I've mentioned, and a lot of times we're not even reporting it. JD's not reporting it. I'm not reporting. Like, JD isn't the source saying Nakamura definitely, I'm saying, will be in the game or will not be in the game.
What we do is we take what Meltzer does and
we compare it.
And we give our opinion.
Well,
right.
I think we take what we do what Meltzer does, but you compare all the shit that you see out there, and you think about it for a second, and then you form your opinion. And you're right. That's what we do. It's an opinion.
Discussion. It's not saying like, oh, it's gonna happen. Like it's more of a discussionary piece. That's the way I approach it anyway.
Right.
And to an extent, you guys do the same thing. It's just like, hey, this is what's being talked about. What this is my thoughts on the possibility. Do we think this is legit, or whatever the case may be. We're not reporting it as like fact.
Just like when I did the Sasha Banks thing last year, I didn't fully know that Sasha Banks wasn't going to be in the game. I reported that this seems like Sasha Banks ain't going to be in the game. Here's what's going on. But I didn't really fully know that. In fact, I didn't believe it because I was like, this can't be real. She got to be in the game, and so I just got lucky that looked good. You know what I mean? I took the Nakamura thing down. I got lucky that looked good. Actually, you could argue JD's been right about the more important stuff, like the actual shit that's going on, not the fucking video game characters. So JD's been fucking spot on with that shit. But I just wanted to call out that dickhead who was talking shit to me about taking the Nakamura video down.
So the DLC list, like I just actually thought there was some more, and apparently there's a whole hell of a lot more. So they got so basically the way they're doing it is like last year where they had a Hall of Fame showcase mode where you can play through from the characters from those random matches, and some of them are very bizarre. Yeah. But the initial DLC is Austin Aries, The Godfather, Gallows and Anderson, Kerry Von Erich, Mojo Rawley, Papa Shango, Eddie Guerrero, and Ty Dillinger. And then they have the Hall of Fame showcase portion of it. Where
oh my God! Wait a minute, Papa Shango's in the game.
Papa Shango's in the game.
Wait a minute. Do you know what that means?
Oh God, what?
Oh, all right, go.
Oh, the other guys, kind of head scratchers. They've got the Freebirds, like I was saying earlier, and then they've got Brutus.
Please don't tell me they got Brutus the Barber.
Yeah, Brutus the Barber. Oh wait,
hey, in the game, he's gonna sell pictures of Hulk Hogan to people for money.
Albert's in the game too, apparently.
Can we throw someone through the barbershop window?
Oh, I'd love to.
In the game?
That would be the best.
I'd love to.
I would download that for like $5. You could change it from Marty Jannetty. You could reverse it.
That's one of my favorite scenes in
that
wrestling.
DLC.
Oh my God,
that's one of my favorite parts in wrestling history is when he does that, and then you just hear Heenan go, "See, look, he was trying to escape.
He tried to jump out that window, Monsoon."
So good.
You know something that's terrible? Who's not in the game probably is Glorious.
Yeah.
Oh. Dude, when
he
came out,
music back to it.
When he came out and I know, right? Because then you can just do it. When he came out and spun around in the fucking thing, I died laughing. I was like, "Oh my God, this is perfect!" Spinning on that pillar.
What a take! Oh yeah, take over from that like 20-foot raptor.
No, just on NXT.
He did it on a regular NXT.
The other night he comes out with his arms out, sparkling, and then it turns around, and I was like, "Oh my God, he's on a pillar. He's on some fucking table thing."
Dude, he is like fucking the hottest I've seen anybody, dude. Even more so than Nakamura, I think.
I would not be surprised if well, they're probably gonna do Joe and Nakamura rematch at the Survivor Series one, but the next one after that, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a title shot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what Joe did tonight on NXT was simple but fucking great. He threatened Regal. He's like, if you don't give me my rematch, because Nakamura per storyline's out for 6 to 12 weeks.
Attack.
And he's like, I'm not waiting 6 weeks. I'm not waiting 12 weeks. This is your opportunity to do the right thing. And if you don't, What happened with Nakamura, because he had doctor's notes, is going to happen to every single member of this NXT roster. And then he takes the note and he shoves it in Regal's suit jacket, and Regal's just standing there like, what the fuck do I got to do with this guy?
So good. Joe is such a great heel.
Yeah, so much better than when he first came on. I like it a lot better.
Getting randomly attacked and thrown into vans and never get explained how the fuck they came back from that one. I hate when there's like storylines that just don't go anywhere. Like you just wonder, like, hey, remember Nexus helped bury the Undertaker? Yeah, where'd that go?
The Nexus stuff. There was so many of those with Nexus. They were like, what is this? They had no idea. What else? I don't know. We didn't even know what we're talking about tonight, and we were talking about a lot of stuff. It's great. This is like, people will be happy because it was no out of nowhere, but this is out of nowhere, I guess. But
yeah,
whatever you call this, I don't know. We'll call it something. We'll call it okay Fabian JD's Cronin. I don't know. It'll be better than whatever the fuck me and Kenny Bolin came up with. I don't know.
You could just name it Striking Down JCS and OK Fabe.
Yeah, because I haven't gone after him yet.
Get a good long look at them,
OK
folks.
Fabe gets on a line. I got the flag his channel.
Yeah, if you can flag him and make him cry. And then he'll make 7 videos about you. Jesus
8, but who's counting?
Please don't flag me.
JG, but you called me a goon. You called me a goon on my birthday.
I'm sorry, bro. You called me an internet smart mark and you made fun of the cruiserweights. I gotta flag it down.
Well, that's the blocking that you do. I'll tell you
Don't
what.
worry, blame it on Kevin Owens.
JD, you're getting some heel though. You're getting some heel heat though. I'll tell you.
Yeah, because I speak up for the shit that I see on television, man. You know. Everybody's like, oh, look at Monday Night Raw and the shape it's in now. Kevin Owens is the champion and the ratings are the lowest ever. Yeah. Blame it on Kevin Owens. He killed WCW. He put ECW out of business. Eddie Guerrero's death is blamed on Kevin Owens. Just blame it on him.
Sticking up for them.
You can't blame creative on a wrestler. Even if you gave, like, it's been public knowledge that, like, you know, you can give someone the greatest line, and you guys obviously know this.
JD,
you can give guys the greatest like storyline in the world, and if you know, or vice versa, you have the greatest wrestler if you have a shit storyline.
I mean, what are they comparing it to? They're comparing what we see now
to the past,
to fucking The Rock and Stone Cold and The Undertaker and Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. Dude, you're never, ever, as long as we are alive, we're never going to find wrestlers like that again to rebuild this company. Never. So what are you fucking complaining about? It's not going to go back to that ever. You are stuck. You have to deal with what we have now. And that is the business is changing. The business is changing towards slightly an IWC-esque environment. And there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
There's nothing wrong with that at all.
Interesting that it is. I mean, really, when you think about it.
The cruiserweights are not going to anchor Monday Night Raw and give them the ratings boost that they need. They're there to fucking fill a shit show with something that's actually watchable. That's what their thing is.
They're going to need to do that,
That's
though.
it. They're not there to fucking give them a boost.
You're going to need to see the next sort of John Cena thing and the next, I mean, you're going to need to see something like this, I think, at some point. I mean, I guess
Daniel Bryan was the one guy who was more over than anybody.
Yeah.
And it was comparable to Austin's reactions when he came out. When he was white hot, Daniel Bryan got the fucking biggest reactions since Stone Cold. And now that he's not there, they haven't even been able to replace Daniel Bryan with anybody.
Yeah. No, that's what I mean. Like, somebody's got to come in. Like, this isn't. I mean, this is great what they're doing with the wrestling talent, but they've got to fix their storylines, and they've got to find like the next Hogan, Macho Man, like the next like group of those type of people. The Rock, Austin. You know, I mean, you think about it, you have those two generations to compare it to. You never thought you'd see another Macho Man, Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, those type of guys, and you did. You got Stone Cold and The Rock and Mankind, Undertaker, and Shawn Michaels, and somebody I just left out, The Rock. Did I leave The Rock?
Fucking Road Dogg and Billy Gunn.
Oh, I mean, that's when you're talking about the mid card talent that also compiled.
Everybody was over, dude. Fucking
everybody.
Godfather was over. Val Venus was over. Ken Shamrock was over.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was over. Everybody played a role. You don't have that now because, like you said, of the creative writing. They book for one or two top guys and then forget about everything else.
They also, I think, book to a casual, or I don't even think they know who they're booking to be completely honest with you. As I was thinking that mid sentence, because things just kind of go like wavy sometimes, and that they were like, oh, we're catering to a bigger audience. Well, if you're catering to a bigger audience and you're getting that result, wouldn't it be smarter to cater to like a more core, like the cruiserweight fans, and then grow from there? That just makes more sense to me. But
you know what makes more sense to me is for all of us to just turn this show off right now, go to North Carolina, and let's fuck up some shit, bro.
All right, cool. Dibs on Vanguard too.
Yeah.
No, I didn't mean Matt Hardy. I meant the riots.
Vanguard too. I call dibs on Skarsgård. I need him to get me across the river because I don't want to be deleted.
Teddy Goods, I don't want to see you on CNN running around on Friday night. Apparently, Teddy Goods isn't going to be in Brockton.
We're going to see Teddy Goods on NXT. We've seen Oney Lorcan versus Cedric Alexander tonight.
I want to see Teddy Goods. Wouldn't it be great if Teddy got down there and faced Oney Lorcan? Like he faced Biff Busick? Why did they just leave Biff Busick with his name? What the fuck? It drives me nuts.
It sounds like he's coming out of Lord of the Rings.
I can't even say that name. I can't even say it.
You shall go to the highest bidder of Mordor and face the Oney Lorcan.
Well, I tell you what, man, he does get some decent reactions when he comes out.
People know who he is. I think more people know who he is than people give him credit for.
Go watch his match with Cedric Alexander on the Cruiserweight Classic. It was a YouTube exclusive on WWE's page.
I did see that one.
A lot of comments, dude, in the comment section were like, dude, Oney Lorcan deserves more TV time. This guy's fucking great.
He's very brutal in that one. I did like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think they do know, and I think when you hear his name, Biff Busick, you go, oh, I have heard of him before, you know? And a lot of people don't know that he's from the Biff and Ted's Excellent podcast that they did. I told Ted that. I go, you know, Ted, I got to be honest, even though I'm from Massachusetts, I'm like, though, really the first time I knew who Ted was with Biff was from their podcast, because I would see their thing on Wrestling Tees, I would see their YouTube, you know, whatever, and they don't really do it anymore. And I guess they were worried a little bit, especially Biff was, about WWE getting a hold of their podcast or something, and you know what I mean. So like, just like lots of people would be. I mean, clearly I'm not worried, but you know, but seriously though, lots of guys do a lot of crazy stuff and they sign them. You know, as long as you're not, you know, putting photos up of you with a Nazi thing like that. What's her, like Seth Rollins' girlfriend or whatever? Was that her that did that? I don't know.
Put his nudes up there. No, I think the last incident was
something with a Nazi
fake,
symbol.
But yeah. It was his wife who put the pictures on Snapchat.
It's so scary how like just like a whistleblower or just some person who doesn't like you. That's what's scary about things now. Like,
although I did laugh when they kind of alluded to it on the the Raw where Kevin Owens won the Universal title. Size does matter, and you just heard like all the people are like, "Is he talking about his dick?"
That was like, great, really? Dude. I actually popped for that. I was like, "Oh my god, a dick joke! Yes!" Like that is so funny. I love how, you know what's funny about SmackDown is last week on SmackDown it was like predominantly it was the promos that I remembered, but this week on SmackDown it was the story in the ring that I remembered. It was like, wow, they just told the story 2 different ways 2 weeks in a row and got a 7 both weeks from me. Like that's fucking crazy.
Well, like we were saying, like JD was saying earlier, they know how to use the time effectively better. I think that 2-hour format is just it's probably the biggest key, if not the key. It's one of the biggest keys of the success.
And what they
SmackDown.
did for next week already, which Monday Night Raw never does, is they announced a match, and coincidentally, it's a WWE Championship match. They already announced AJ Styles versus Dean Ambrose, which automatically gets you excited. Like, oh shit, a fucking huge match next week. I got to tune in to watch that. Raw doesn't do that at all.
I figured they were going to do something like this because they did this the last time when they first did the brand split pay-per-views, and they were just catching momentum, is that the other brand would put on like a high-profile match like either right before or right after the other brand's pay-per-view. So like if Raw had a pay-per-view, SmackDown would put on like 2 decent like shows or like a decent match that would really like have a lot of hype, and then vice versa. If Raw, you know, leading into a SmackDown one, so it would get boosted up in ratings and kind of like drag attention to both. So I was kind of glad to see that because I actually really, like you were saying, enjoyed this week's and curious to see what's going to happen next week, but we'll see.
Yeah,
I just don't like the fact that they have fucking a championship match and a match that's probably going to take place at the pay-per-view the week before on SmackDown. Like they did it, they keep doing it with the Miz and Ziggler and then Anderson and Gallows and the New Day. It's like, why are you giving these matches when they're just going to happen on the pay-per-view? It's like, why do I care?
Yeah, I don't remember half of what happens on Raw, to be honest, but I remember what happens on SmackDown. I remember what happens on TNA, and I remember what happens on SmackDown. And I don't think it's just the 2 hours, but it definitely, that's a huge key to it, like you just said. But it's just the quality. It's the things that make sense. Every week, the story continues, and you're like, I can follow this because it's continuing. Where on Raw, it's like,
well, not to kiss SmackDown's ass even further, but I think the other part of it too is just like everything's there for a reason. There was very little to no random segment or random match that was just for like, we didn't see like a squash match. We saw like there was a piece of a puzzle or a piece of a storyline that meant something in the grander scheme of whatever they were kind of building or interweaving. Miz's the storyline, the tag team title rivalry, everything was placed at the right place for, and meant something. So it's not like you're just seeing like, oh, random segment on Smack. I think maybe the women's tag match, but that furthered the storyline between Nikki Bella and Carmella. So you still had at least a reasoning behind it. So everything meant something on the show, which is where it really should mean at the end of the day, for the most part.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, you don't get that on Raw at all.
I do want to throw out there real quick, anybody who's still listening who's really caring about it, Monetize This will not be on tomorrow night, Friday night, because I'll be doing the show in Brockton. So actually, I've done it other nights. I should have realized that and probably kept it on, but we're going to go ahead and cancel it. So
yeah, don't kill yourself, man. You got those 2 shows and then fucking Clash of Champions on Sunday.
That's a good point. Holy shit, when you say it all like that, I want to needle myself. So that's it. I mean, what else? Anything else that anybody wants to mention? I think we cleared through a lot of shit. It was pretty cool.
That's pretty much it. I mean, that's a week in review. I mean, we got the pay-per-view coming up on Sunday. I'm pretty sure everybody here is going to get their preview and predictions out. If you guys want to do something collectively, we can do something like that as well for everybody.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I like it. I like if all 3 of us did it, we could be cool. What are you doing Sunday, Kayfabe?
Pay-per-view. That's pretty much the big one. So
all right, so you'll be at home.
I'm off Sunday, so I'll be good.
All right, well we'll do something Sunday, and we'll do a preview show or something.
Bitchin'.
All right, well everybody, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening, and check out JD's channel, JD from NY206, and Connor from OKFabe on YouTube as well. Check him out over there, and of course subscribe to mine and all of us because we're all partying. And I'll see you Friday night, September 24th, and 23rd, rather. Friday night, September 23rd, and Saturday night, September 24th, doing commentary with Matt Stryker. Hit me up on Twitter at Joe Cronin Show, at OKFabe, and at JD from NY206. And we'll see you in the next video. Later.
This Saturday, September 24th, ICW champion Danny Demento with WWE Hall of Famer Scott Hall versus Bully Ray Dudley with Velvet Sky. The Greek God Papa Don versus Brian Fury in one of his last wrestling matches. You gotta come out to see Brian Fury. Plus Slick Wagner Brown versus self-made man Jorge Sante and tons more. The Juice JT Dunn versus Shane Swerve Strickland. And of course, much, much more as far as wrestling goes, but also appearing WWE Hall of Famer Booker T and former WWE superstar on commentary with Joe Cronin from The Joe Cronin Show. He is Matt Stryker. WWE Hall of Famer Tony Atlas, WWE Hall of Famer Scott Hall, TNA Knockout Velvet Sky, ECW icon Spike Dudley, and so much more, guys. There's going to be a ton more. Don't miss the last big party of the summer as far as wrestling is concerned, because this is going to be a big one. September 24th, this Saturday, Watertown, Massachusetts. Tickets now available on Pro Wrestling Mass on Facebook or WrestlingUniverseOnline.com. That's WrestlingUniverseOnline.com. Get the tickets this weekend. It's party time in Watertown.